Welcome back everyone, my name is Eltimar and we're going to be continuing our Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous. Where we left off last time, we had just finished up Regel's quest. We now picked up our brave new gnomish murder machine. He's wearing adamantine full plate +2, which is really nice. A cold iron gnome took hammer +1. He's got some relatively mediocre gear other than that, unfortunately, but I can give him a ring of protection +2 at least to keep him a little bit more alive. I would normally put a headband of inspired wisdom on a monk. However, we are the scaled fist monk, which means we need charisma and not wisdom. As you can see, if we put the wisdom one on, it doesn't do anything except for raising our will save, which arguably could be helpful, but we are fine. It's fine. Now, where we're going to... Actually, you know what? I'll give her the headband of inspired wisdom. She is a cult leader, and I think she can use wisdom. Or is it charisma for them as well? It doesn't matter. Somebody needs to use it, so good enough. We're going to head up to our camp, rest, and then we're going to do the bug mission in this one. It's time to go get our Vescivore Queen goop that we need for becoming the swarm that walks. We aren't going to be able to do it for quite a while, but it never hurts to get this part out of the way. Also, it's going to give us a little bit of an oomph towards the path we're going to take prior to becoming the swarm that walks, which is going to be the Lich path, just because it is the most evil, technically. Just going to quickly stop off here, sell whatever we have that's in bulk, and I don't think we have anything else worthwhile to sell. I mean, no one's going to use that, so there's some money.
Wherever my legs carry
Going the wrong way. Where's my camp entrance? Let's get a quick rest, and actually, before we rest, let me just take a quick look and make sure we have all of our spell slots memorized. It does appear that we do. Or do we? No, we don't. We're missing one, and it's going to be... I'm almost just tempted to have shield again. But let's get enlarge person. Why not? And we still just have the one mirror image. We need more of those, but nothing we can do about that yet. Before we rest... Your spells per day, you're not in our group, you're not in our group. Regil does have spells eventually, but not really. Spells per day. Nenio does have spells, and she needs some greater invisibility, a controlled blast fireball, and anything else? No, we don't have to see invisibility. Just grab more blurs for our group. We can just blur everyone. It's super duper useful. I'll give her one shield. She can shield herself. Oh right, abjuration spells cost 2 slots for her because of her specialization. Which means that we are not going to bother with shield. We'll just grab, I don't know, magic missile. Sure. We are fatigued, but now we are not, and it's time to go and hunt down some bugs. They're going to be getting in our way, and we're going to be murdering them for that. We have a pretty good group. Regil is a fantastic fighter, and he'll be even better with his unlimited raging, which should be on all the time. Unlimited range is so good for Blood Ragers. It's just, oh, it's so much fun. Alright, let's do this thing. We found an underground hideout. Interesting. Lepers smile. Danger and distress rest heavy on the scales, their measure soaring on the dangerous march to Dresden. The army moves steadily along the bank of the West Selen, scarred with canyons and ravines. Suddenly, a group of scouts returns. Anevia, the leader of the group, makes 2 urgent signs to the soldiers: wait and quiet. She dashes through the ranks to the commander, who awaits her report. We're in trouble, the girl whispers. The road is split by a canyon. To get to Dresden, we'll have to go down and then up the other side, but the canyon is swarming with foul creatures, Vescivores. A real pain in the neck. They won't shy away from our soldiers' weapons, and they've already managed to gobble up somebody. Looked like a caravan of refugees from Canabris that lost its way. No one has ever reported Vescivores so far from the center of the world wound. Where did they come from? Anevia bites her lips. They still haven't noticed us, but that won't hold true for long. Maybe if we retreat quietly, the commander makes a sign for her to stop. Find out what is known about the enemy. Those nasty little critters, they can ruin your gear and drive you nuts with their buzzing. They got a queen, the mother of the whole swarm. She's a right horror, but if we kill her, the bulk of the swarm will scatter and we'll take care of the rest of them somehow. After hearing the scout's report, the commander prepares to convene a council to determine a plan of action. The commander and his companions convene a field council. The army cannot march around the obstacle, for there is no other road. Retreat is far too risky. Should the swarm notice the army and catch it out in the open, no one would survive. None utters the word trap, but fear hangs in the air. A swarm of omnivorous beasts just happens to be in the army's path. Somebody has arranged this for their own nefarious ends. Rustling, grating, squeaking, humming, everyone hears the voice of the swarm, though the sky before the army remains clear. For now. How long until it's darkened by the flying spawn of the abyss? An idea, a decision straight and sharp like a soldier's sword appears in their minds. The Crusader Council grows grim. One unit must act as live bait to lure out the swarm and clear a path to the Vescivore Queen. The commander will rush the monster, killing her quickly before the swarm decimates the army. They will get but one chance. A dark question looms: who will lead the fateful squad and be consumed as bait? In moments of extreme stress, one often says one thing while meaning quite another. These hidden words often reveal many a curious thing. And what do we see here? Earbeth nobly states, "I'm an officer, best suited for the mission." But in truth she means, I cannot burden another with my responsibility. "Eltimar, send me," Nura the historian emerges with an unexpected suggestion from behind the commander's back. This is just the sort of situation where ingenuity and knowledge of the enemy will be more useful than swords and armor. While she speaks, she thinks, I need to prove myself. The commander thinks that he should look into the faces of my companions. The Hell Knight Regil steps forward. My people will fight to the last, even as the swarm tears through our armor and strips the flesh from our bones. But his motives are plain. My superiority over the Crusaders will not permit me to cower behind them. The ones who distract the swarm will need a healer. Soziel is the only one who speaks plainly. A healer might bring a few through the Vescivores alive. The rest of the council remains silent, and this silence is filled by a chorus of, there are others better suited, and the commander needs me alive. Does the commander heed these unspoken words? What will they lead him to decide? The faithful troop will be led by Soziel. The commander and his party disappear among the rocks, preparing to slip down into the canyon, while the swarm is distracted by their bait. A tight-lipped Anevia shows the way. Behind them, the final preparations are being made. Soziel's eyes grow cloudy for a moment. There are a few creatures as abominable for a follower of Shaylin as Vescivores, devourers of flesh and destroyers of matter. This trial will not be easy. The soldiers tread fearfully down the road towards the dark edge of the canyon ahead. The rift that yawns open before them whispers, rasps, rattles in the thousands upon thousands of voices. Vescivores gather below, but the sky is open above them, and the flying creatures might rise up and attack at any moment. The soldiers soon find the first body, the mangled corpse of a refugee from Kyrieru. A few straggling Vescivores wriggle inside the dead man's gaping chest, tiny larvae in their greenish shells, all shuffling, legs and hinging jaws. Don't seem menacing at all, but then the rasping noise stops for a moment, and a high vibrating note pierces the air with new force. A blur of blackish green cloud rises above the canyon. The swarm has taken the bait. The time to act has come. The leader of this fateful squad shouts that they shall hold position and fight for their soldiers' lives. Standing in the middle of the formation, Soziel utters a prayer to Shaylin. From the outside, it would appear that the cloud of Vescivores will in a moment fall upon them from above and destroy their forces utterly. Hundreds of spawn of the abyss gnaw on the bodies and armor, destroying as they consume, but the cleric's power flows forth in waves, healing the wounds of his comrades. As if understanding who is to blame for the unexpected resistance, the spawn covers Soziel like a living carpet. The servant of Shaylin trembles but does not move or halt his prayers. The soldiers look on with awe as though they are witnessing a holy miracle. Temporary success holds no true hope for the faithful troop. Their foe was no great beast but a million ravenous creatures, bringing with them the eternal hunger of the abyss. To fight them was to cry upon the wind. Their only hope was to rely on their commander and hope that he was preparing to slay the swarm queen. What was happening down in the canyon at that very moment? And now it's time to go fight some Vescivores. I absolutely hate them. They are the worst enemies, hands down. Their confusion stuff and everything is just very annoying. We're gonna go straight for the queen because this is an area you just kind of don't want to mess around too much. There is loot you can get, but realistically we're not going to worry too much about it. It's nothing game-changing. There are some... You know what? I actually don't remember what's in here. Hang on. Let's go with Lepers. What's this place called? Lepers Smile. What kind of loot can we get? I'm just going to quickly glance at the inventory. Blah blah blah. A silky veil, ring of stitches, and naturalist armor. Silky veil is a +1 dodge bonus AC robe, and gives unarmed attack increases, which would be fine if we used unarmed attack. Ring grants player immunity to bleed is the Ring of Stitches. It's actually not too terrible, but it's not worth going out of our way for. And then some naturalist armor, not really worth it either. So, let's just get ready to go straight for the queen and kill her.
Great for adventure.
Yeah, we'll take our mirror image, because why not? Can't hurt to not die, in theory. We got bless up. Protection. This only lasts 1 minute, but oh well. It'll help out. What else can we give?
Oh, the waiting's never fun.
1 minute per level. Might as well do Archon's Aura.
You require my unbiased opinion?
And we're gonna grab haste. We have 4 of them, so we should be able to blast through everything with haste on. Let's start mass blurring everyone. Anyone else got blur? It's literally just Nenio gonna be blurring the whole group. Okay, fine. Who else has mage armor? No one? Nenio's gonna have to cast that too? Shouldn't have cast Communal Protection from Evil. That was a waste. We're not gonna be done casting spells by then. Okay, there's all the blurs we need, and we could just run through with the greater invisibility, but that's not what we're going to do. What we are going to do is give him mage armor. Okay, that should be good enough for now. Spots of light and shadow dance along the walls of the canyon. High above your head, a swarm gathers, dark as a rain cloud. Ugh, can't read today. There are so many Vescivores that they block out the sun. Luckily, you've escaped the attention of the swarm, which is focused upon the troops you're using as bait. For now, at least. With a tired gesture, Endeavy wipes the sweat and dust from her forehead. There's anxiety in her eyes. Commander, the beast we come for is on the other end of the main corridor. There's a lot of burrows and plenty of beasts in them, but you better not delve too deep. Our people won't hold out long enough for us to clear out the whole area. On the other hand, I saw the bodies of some poor caravanners down one of the side holes. They have some valuable stuff on them. The bugs will eat anything we don't grab. They can't tell the difference between flesh and steel. Did you manage to find out where these beasts come from? I'm not sure, but there are clear signs of a ritual closer to the Bug Queen's lair, and they're fresh. Maybe someone summoned the scum specifically for us. Or especially for us. The demon filth figured we're never gonna let Canabris go. Too bad we don't have a magic specialist who could figure out what those runes mean. The words magic specialist bring Nenio out of her reverie. Huh? What? I'm a specialist. I'll get to the bottom of this. What happened? Can you tell us anything more useful about the monster? Never fought these before, so I don't know much. She's a nasty beast. She spits acid and summons her spawn from all around the area. One more thing. When I tried to get closer, I started feeling sick as a dog. I guess like a lot of demons, she knows how to get inside your head. Oh, how interesting. Sounds like a Vescivore queen. An exceedingly rare creature, I must say. Looking forward to an encounter to conduct the experiment. The world must know what is more dangerous. Mandibles, snapping shut on one's hand, or acid eating away at one's skin. Let's move. Good luck, I'm right behind you, covering your back. I'll catch up when it's time to deal with the queen. Actually, before we go too much further, I'm just going to check one thing here. Okay, we have one more big spell casting moment here. These last forever. But protection from acid is very important. Did I miss someone? I think I missed Nenio. Alrighty, now we can go. We should probably cast Haze Day. Yeah, let's do it.
You require my unbiased opinion?
Okay, now we're going. Fast, 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 fast. Let's go for swarm number 1. Yes, I know how confusion works, thank you. Which way was it? This way? This looks correct.
To your demise.
Come on. The acid damage isn't going to be too bad.
Burn! Slice! Behead! Yes!
Alright, next one down. We'll give it a good blast of healing just to top us up. And we're going to quick save because we're doing pretty good so far.
Backwards! Backwards!
And then we go this way? Yeah. This is the correct path. And there's the thing here. The bottom of the canyon is split by a narrow crevice, but one stride across at its widest. It's easy enough to jump over, or in places even step across. The obstacle doesn't seem a problem, or even particularly notable, but as you draw near, you hear a terrible droning sound coming from the crevice. It seems to be howling as if it's alive. Look into the crevice. You stare into the darkness of the void, trying to make out where the strange sound is coming from. Not all at once, but your eyes pick out the contours of a body in the darkness. Someone small, perhaps a gnome, a halfling, or a child, rolled up in a ball at the bottom of the chasm, under a stone ledge. He's crouched down, his head to his knees. He's hugging his legs tightly. It appears to be one of the caravanners caught by the swarm. He's crying aloud in one continuous tone, and it strengthens as it echoes through the crevice, building into something truly haunting. All howl and no wolf, it would seem. Try and get him out. You clamber down into the crevice and tie the halfling with a rope, and then try to pull him up. For a while he doesn't resist, although he doesn't help either, as he dangles helplessly like a puppet, but suddenly in the middle of the ascent one of the vesicores in his eye sockets moves abruptly. The halfling screams and spasms and hits his head on the stone cliff face. He immediately grows still. You are now pulling up a dead body. We could go back and try that one more time. How badly did we fail it, and what's the DC? We need to roll a 9 or above. We'll give it one more chance. I only want to do it because if we heal him, we get something cool later in the game from him. This way. I'm so fast. Alright, let's try this one more time. Blah blah blah. Succeeded perception. Succeeded athletics check. Not without effort you manage to clamber down to the bottom of the crevice, tie the halfling with the rope and pull him up. He doesn't resist, but he's little help either, dangling helplessly like a puppet. The vesicores inhabiting his eye sockets seem to have eaten their fill, and you easily pull them out and crush them. The victim sits on the ground and continues to cry, and the sound begins attracting unwanted attention. You hear the humming of disturbed vesicores above. A mass of them separates from the main swarm and flies towards us. Now unfortunately this is the negative of actually helping this guy out, is that we have to deal with this problem. Come on, someone kill that last one. And we're gonna have to heal. No one's gonna heal it? Okay. The halfling you pulled from the crevice didn't move at all as you fought the onslaught of vesicores. He's lying on the ground, crying. I'm gonna heal him. I want him to do... This is our one good thing we're gonna do. Magic can heal the caravanner's wounds, but not his mind. For now, there's nothing more you can do for him. He's scarcely aware of your help, and his crying and shrieking continues. A moment later, you hear another scream from overhead. Leaning precariously over the ledge of the crevice is one of your... above. One of your men falls to the bottom and dies on the rocks. Sorry. The other soldiers, now serving as bait, are up there desperately fighting for their lives and yours. Guessing that heal didn't go off. Oh wait, he has fatigue from raging. That's fine though. He'll be okay. And now we're going to use another haste, and we're going to race in there and kill the queen as fast as possible. Haste round 2. Let's go.
Out of my sight!
Come on, someone kill this thing. That hurt. Move up.
All I see is blackness.
Ooh, that thing is hitting hard. We are not hitting it nearly hard enough, and we died. Fully died, 100%. Let's try that again. We don't have any other spells to cast, really. I mean, we could do displacement, I guess. Do we have haste on now? No, I haven't done haste yet, so we'll do displacement first. Okay, now haste. Alright, let's go.
This way.
We're a little bit closer this time, so that's fine. Go in fast. Displacement should help a little bit. We are missing like crazy, though. We can just start firing magic missiles at this thing. Doesn't do a whole lot though, does it? It's almost, sort of almost dead. It's hard to tell. Just keep healing. We'll never get a better chance. Oh, never mind, it died. That'll do. Unleashing her last shriek, the Swarm Queen slumps to the ground. Immediately, as if by magic, the distant sounds of battle begin to subside. Several small beasts sit on their mother's body, sinking their mandibles into it. The canyon drowns in the waves of scent, a sweet sporific with a hint of bite, like the crackle in the air before a storm. And Evie approaches the queen's body and grins. That's it, you filth. No more flying. It's good we got rid of her without suffering more losses. Just a little longer, and we'd have been forced to bury a lot of our fighters in this cursed land. Suddenly, Anevia stops. Her nostrils flare, and her eyes scan the floor and walls of the canyon. She squats, pokes at some lumps of a slimy substance, lifts them up to look more closely, smells them, and cringes. You smell it too, right? A suspiciously familiar stink. Aha! Anevia rubs a ball of greenish slime in her hands. Bet my life that your gear has this nasty stench when we were entering the canyon. I saw the queen bug spraying it around to summon her spawn to her. By the way, did you know that smells are extremely effective in attracting the attention not only in the insect world? For example, a tavern keeper in Canabras can, for 10 minutes, purposely and doggedly search for a rotten fish that turns out to be in the pocket of his apron. Let's see if we can find the source of that smell among my equipment. You and Anevia search through your things and quickly find the source of the smell, a thin handkerchief. Looks like it's been soaked in something like the Swarm Queen's slime. I'll be damned. When the queen was spraying the sweet-smelling goop around, the swarm flew to it, like flies to jam. The chewed-up bodies of the caravanners smelled like this too. I checked. Commander, I think some rat planted that handkerchief on you to ensure that the Vescovores would find you. Eltimar's been tagged for assassination already. Our commander's all grown up. Despite its airy tone, Darren looks discomfited. I thought this crusade couldn't get any worse, but now we have a mysterious traitor who's trying to feed us to a swarm of repulsive insects. And here I was thinking you'd be first in line to feed me to some repulsive bugs. No, my dear Eltimar, I have standards. What's more, my feelings towards you may be quite tumultuous, but not altogether negative. So if I were to feed you to some insects, I guarantee that they would be the most sublimely beautiful creatures you'd ever seen. Well, in that case, the least I can do in return is to ensure that the swamp I drown you in meets your exacting aesthetic standards. There may even be flowers. Darren laughs. We understand one another surprisingly well, don't we? Touché. So there's a traitor in the Mendev camp. Nothing new there. Looks like I have enemies in Mendev, and someone has decided to get rid of me. True, no one likes upstarts. If you knew what Erebus allies hissed behind her back when she was appointed head of the Eagle Watch, Anevia spits. Anyway, we need to keep our eyes open. That handkerchief could have been planted here by magic, but take it from a professional paranoiac. I think we've got a rat in our camp. In Canabras we squashed the cultists time and again, but they were like maggots in a dead hog. Some could have infiltrated our forces too. We have to keep our eyes open and our guard up. It's time to get back to our people. I say we destroy the queen's body. I've heard that the little bugs who eat the flesh of their mother can be reborn as swarm queens themselves. That's kind of the last thing we need, right? Burn the body, but gather as much of the queen's slime as you can. Keep it a secret from the troops. In Dresden, we'll send a suicide unit, wait for the demons to gather their forces, then bring in the Vescovores. We'll return this gift to those who would destroy us with it. You want to make a weapon out of demon bug shit? Seriously? You better think about this. We have no way to control the swarm. What does that mean? It means the soldiers that we send into battle with a barrel of this muck will be the first to be eaten. That's not even a suicide mission, it's a dirty trick like the cultists do. We're crusaders. I know an order is an order. I'll gather the stuff up, I don't mind, but think about it. Is this the way you want to fight? Will you still be able to look your people in the eye? Yes. Yes, I will. Alrighty. No, we have some people coming in. Soziel and Nura. Anevia, Commander, what a relief. You're alive. I saw the swarm begin to thin and ran to you immediately. She pauses to catch her breath. Soziel wipes the sweat from his brow. My squad handled the assignment. I healed everyone I could, but my warriors have had quite a fright. It's not very pleasant to be eaten alive, then healed, then eaten, then healed again. Glad it's over. What happened up there can't be described in words, but you were the one who carried the day, Eltimar. Luckily our losses are not as great as we feared. Not many are even wounded, but if you had been a moment later, I'm afraid to imagine what might have happened to us. Unfortunately, the insect's acid ruined what was left of the caravan. Of course I sympathize with those who perished, but we could have used their gear. How did this caravan even come to be here? This is no place for civilians. They lost their lives for nothing, and they didn't even leave anything useful behind. The army is the backbone. Actually, yeah, we don't need to be lawful. We can be just evil. We don't need monk levels anymore. The army is the backbone of the crusade, my best weapon. If it wasn't, I would have sacrificed valuable loot to preserve the lives of a few dozen foolish knights. What matters is that everything's over and we won. What are we going to do now? Since you're here, please take a look around. I found some painted ruins and the traces of something that looked like a ritual. We need to figure out what this is. Huh, easily done. Nura leans over the magic symbols painted on the stone. I'm no mage, unfortunately, but I'm in the habit of thoroughly documenting all descriptions of rituals and symbols from magic books, especially demonic ones. Someone very recently opened a portal to the abyss here and summoned someone. Not difficult to figure out who they summoned. She's lying dead right there. I can guess who carried out the ritual. Handwriting is unique. Even when it comes to ruins, I examined the Great Garrison after your success, documenting everything I found for Queen Galfrey. I'm sure that the hand that drew out the rune circles was the same in both instances. It's the work of the same spellcaster. Clever to set a trap and exhaust us instead of fighting us openly. We shouldn't be afraid of demons. We lived through this little trap, didn't we? We'll overcome the next one too. We just need to keep forging ahead. Well, since we finished off the swarm, and we know someone's giving us trouble, I suggest we get out of here. I'm done with bugs. And we are done with our video in this case. Next video, we're going to go down into the cavern area. There's a bunch of stuff to do down there. And then we're also going to come back and clear out this area and gather what little is left from the loot. It's not going to be much, but it'll be good enough. For now, I will leave you guys here. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Take care.